Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing on this Monday morning, man? I tell you what, we're flying. It's going to be a great week. For some of us, it's this week, and then next week is like going into Christmas break. So I hope you guys have some time off coming up. Hope you have a great Christmas season. So we got in the house today. Prepper Days, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Good to see you. The Wizard in the house. Jerry Robbins in the house. Good morning. Good morning. North Carolina representing today. Amber Huckleberry. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Roots. Another North Carolinian in the house. D's. Good to see you, brother. D's out there camping and making shelters and stuff and whatnot. Ohio Prepper, what's going on with you, sis? Loretta in the house. Good morning. Good to see you, my sis. Hillbilly, what's up, man? Good morning. Good morning. Let's see who else we got. In between prepping. Good morning, Nikki. Good to see you, sis. Milkmaid in the house. Pig Red, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Good morning. Tammy, good morning. Kathy, good morning. Stars, Angela, good morning. Let's see. Arkansas whoop ass, good morning. Good to see you. Serbian, what's going on with you, man? Right? Just a couple, just a few. You know how it is. Bye, Huxo, what's up? Gene W, good morning, good morning. Susanna, good morning. Good to see you, sis. Appreciated you Saturday night. I enjoyed hanging out with y'all. Let's see. Southern Fried in the house. Good morning, good morning. Man, I tell you what, guys, it's been a crazy weekend. I think every weekend we say that. It's a crazy weekend. There's all kinds of stuff that comes out, all kinds of news is going on. I need my coffee this morning. But yeah, man, as the thumbnail said, China is collecting our DNA, like specifically the DNA of the United States of American citizens. And obviously for nefarious reasons. I was talking about yesterday, I dropped a EWPN little news clip about China is building a base on the Atlantic coast of Africa in Equatorial Guinea. And they already have a port there. It's a deep water port for commerce now, but it's large enough for their largest ships, their aircraft carriers, to go there and to be moored there. So they could be their navy could be resupplied at that port. It could be easily retrofitted to be a naval base very quickly. Equatorial Guinea just recently got their independence, and of course they're totally corrupt. I think their president is like a lifetime. He's like one of those lifetime presidents. So basically, he's a dictator and totally corrupt and totally in bed with China. So China can do whatever they want there. Anyway, getting back to the DNA, what do you guys think? Why do you think they want our DNA specifically? What in the world are they going to do with it? Right? My DNA says I'm cantankerous and ornery as hell, so China can kiss my grits. Amen. Good morning, Lisa. Good to see you. Awaken one. Good morning. Ooh, AI. Maybe. I didn't think about that. Well, one thing, I mean, we've got this man-made virus going around, been going around for 2 years now, affecting certain part of the population of the world. I think, and I'm going to show a video clip here, and they kind of hit on this too, that one thing they could do with it is continue their bioweapon research and create viruses that only affect certain part of the population of the world based on their DNA. So, I mean, it's crazy stuff. Nicole DD, that's a good point, right? Coming up with ways just to scan someone based on their DNA to see who's been jabbed. Yep, right. You on it? Bioscanning. Oh, you guys are on it. You guys are on top of things. But anyway, I was watching this from Tim Pool. It's an article that they were talking about it. They touch on some of this stuff.
Real quick, I want to be very careful because when we say things that, you know,
got to back it up. Yes,
there's going to be a lot of
particularly in this area.
Right. I'm telling you, when people listen to this on iTunes or whatever, they're going to be like, what? NPR. Yes. February 24th, 2021. China wants your data and may already have it. This is talking about COVID, and they said that, okay, as COVID cases begin to rise, a Chinese company contacted several U.S. states and offered to set up testing labs. As a byproduct, the Chinese firm, Beijing Genomics Institute, would likely gain access to the DNA of those tested. February 24, 2021, from All Things Considered, NPR. Yep. This is as mainstream corporate press as you get. China is getting your DNA.
Yes, and when they get your DNA, they could game the big pharma market, but also in the kind of levels of dirty bombs or biological weapons, they could lead the world in setting off something on the world that could only affect a specific amount of populations with a specific gene sequence.
Yep, exactly. And not only gaming the market, you know, for vaccines or whatever. I think it's more sinister. Now, everything China does is sinister. You know, everything China does is a step towards their global hegemony. You know, they've been setting up for decades. They're ahead of everybody in doing this, man. Sage, what's up, brother? Good morning. You know what I'm talking about. Sage is up on this stuff. Matt, good morning, sis. But I absolutely believe that China, and they're making their move soon. They're putting all their pieces in place, trying to get us in checkmate, man. Building a naval base on the Atlantic coast of Africa, right here in the Atlantic Ocean, facing the United States of America. They've got one on the West Coast already. I was talking to someone last night, and they were telling me that they own large tracts of land all over Africa and whatnot. So I don't know, man. I hear you, brother. I look forward to it, man. Good morning, Leslie. Kramer, good morning. Kramer Ranch. Good to see you. Window Liquor, what's going on? Good morning, man. It's Monday, man. We're doing it. We're doing the things. We're getting ready. We're going to kick this week's butt and get ready for the week leading up to Christmas. Who is going to be off of work all of next week? Press 1. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Yeah. Amen to that, Roots. Moonlight Gypsy, good morning. Uh-oh. I hear y'all. Man, enjoy the time off. I hear you, Jerry. Jerry's like, I'm never off. I'm self-employed. I got you, brother. Me too, Tammy. Gosh. You know, there's always that little bump when your alarm goes off and it's time to get up. And the alarm hears the 6 roosters who freaking crow their face off from like 5 to 8 in the morning. Jeez. They wake me up long before the alarm does. But there's always that little hump you got to get over if you just get out of bed. It's that moment to where you could just close your eyes and you could go right back to sleep. Or you could go ahead and roll out of bed and get the sleepies out. Some days it's harder than others. Tuesdays are the worst days for me to do that. Mad Shab, what's up, brother? Nobody defaulted on their loan to China, and now China owns them. Of course. Everyone's in debt to China, man. Even us. But anyway, moving on. You know, I was watching. I got another clip from Tim. And they were talking about what's going on in Ukraine. They were talking about the China stuff and what's going on. And they bring up a good point, how it's the elites of the world who want us to get involved in all these conflicts. Because that's always been their plan. You know, the military-industrial complex. Been their plan for decades, because their children aren't the ones who are going to fight in these wars. You know, it's going to be our kids, the middle class and working class folks, who are going out there and doing these things. Hunter Biden's kids ain't going to war. Kamala Harris's kids ain't going to war. The Obama's daughters ain't going to war. The Bush's kids aren't going to war. Trump's kids ain't going to war. Nor any of their grandkids or anyone in their family. They don't have to worry about that stuff. That falls on us when they get us involved. They get us all hyped up, you know, like with what's going on in Ukraine and Russia. if that pops off, and you know, it looks like it's heading that way. I don't think Putin really wants it to because the economy of Russia is so fragile. But if it does, and we get dragged into it, it's going to be our kids, man, that's going over there and fighting these unending wars. But anyway, check them out.
We had those stories about those lights, those weird drones or whatever following the battleships. It's very likely these are just this is just technology that exists that can
EMP
disable
technology.
or whatever. Who knows what it is? We don't need specific technology exists that can disable our.
What's your
weapons.
clearance?
Steve, did you know that?
Something practical. I think you're going to see polling that's going to come out. I think there's people are going to get in to start polling, and if Biden thinks his numbers are low now, wait to they start polling people on. Do you support sending in combat troops to the Ukraine? People are going to go, where's the Ukraine? Where's that again? This is the uniparty. This is the elites that rule us so far ahead of the American people. Because you know what? Hunter Biden and Hunter Biden's kids aren't going to be there. Wicker's kids are not going to be there. Okay, this is once again the deplorables that are going to get deployed to a part of the world we've got no business in.
Amen to that. You know, and for all the liberals who scream, you know, that Trump is bad, Trump is evil, and all these good things. One of the best things he did or didn't do is he didn't get us involved in any new wars, and he tried to reduce, you know, our young men and women who are still in these conflicts all over the world. You know, whatever your qualms against him are, you have to say that was a good thing, and it broke the chain, man, that's been going on for decades. Whether Democrat or Republican was in the White House, they were getting us involved in these wars all over the world that we didn't need to really be a part of, you know, neglecting us, neglecting our society, neglecting our culture, and look where we are now, you know. And I've been saying it, I'm surprised that we haven't gotten involved in some conflict yet, because the establishment, man, the uniparty, they're back in charge. Amen. They sure do, Awaken One. I'm with you on that one. You think so, brother? I think they might have to for this one. You know, they can't talk about patriotism now because that's evil. That's Trumpism. That's Nazism. So they can't pluck those strings like they did for Iraq and Afghanistan, touching our patriotic buttons, making us want to go to their wars. But yeah, man, they definitely could. I could see that happen. Right? I've got the Daily Wire tumbler that left us tears. Appreciate it, Window Liquor. They need a war to gain total control. Russia and China are not on the world regime playbook. I agree. I mean, I see conflict coming. We all do. You know, that something's going to happen, and the major players are getting their pieces in place. I mean, you guys remember, what was a couple of months ago that they were talking about where they passed the law where women can now be drafted into the military. I mean, the draft was primarily for males, American fighting age men. Now women, now they're going to be drafting our daughters and whatnot, you know. I mean, I have a 19-year-old daughter. So, I mean, if they do institute that draft, I mean, there's a reason why they did that. They'll be drafting our young women too and sending them to these wars, man. Could you imagine that crap? Them drafting our daughters and our sons, sending them to Ukraine or wherever, whatever China's doing, wherever what they're doing. It's a mess. It's a quagmire. And it's a question of how far do we let China go? If China starts like taking over Taiwan and starts building up military presence in Africa and South America too, they're doing the same thing they're doing in Africa. They're doing over in South America. They've already got a big naval port in Mexico. So, I mean, China's been getting away with stuff for a long time. Yeah, right. Oh, Millie. Gosh, man, this country. Don't know details, but know it's a rough time for our brother. Amen, Ohio. Definitely, guys. He's a good man too. He's a good soul. I appreciate him. I appreciate his channel. I didn't know that there was he's having a rough time now. Definitely lift him up in prayer. Appreciate that. I agree. I mean, I think Putin's now's our time. China's doing their thing. Biden's the president. We can do whatever we want. They're not going to. I mean, look what happened when we were in the Black Sea. We had our naval ships there, and Russia's Navy was threatening us, and we pulled back under Biden. Biden commanded it. I hear you, brother. Yeah, no doubt. Just to be able to ship those rare earth metals they agreed to mine for a bunch of African countries. And many other things, man. Like China don't just do one thing when they do it. I mean, of course, their commerce, man. Like I said, they're setting up their global hegemony. If China could just control everyone economically, in many places they are, I mean, that's their goal. They could still rule the world. But putting themselves in strategic positions, so if they need to militarily, that's what I mean, man. We got to watch them. Excuse me. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Because things that I don't know, tickle my nerves. That's what I call it. Things that tickle my nerves. Things that China do always tickle my nerves. Because we haven't really looked at them on the global scene as a major threat in a long time, because we've been involved in other things, So they've had so many decades, so many years to infiltrate governments, to set themselves up all over the world globally. And I don't know, I just wish people pay more attention to them. But meanwhile, we've got this freaking virus, this constantly mutating virus going on all over the world. It's endemic now. It's the new flu. It's the new common cold. We're always going to have it. We're always going to have to deal with it. The pharmaceutical companies are making billions hand over fist on this thing, man. And I hate how they bring the CIO. See, every morning I mispronounce at least one word a day. The CEOs of these large pharmaceutical companies. I hate when they bring them on and ask their opinion on how many times you're going to have to get a booster or something like that. What do you think they're going to say, man? It's like, nah, we're done. You guys don't need to take this anymore. You guys are good. You got it. Of course, they're gonna say, oh, at least 3 or 4 more. I mean, we want to make sure we beat this thing. We got to stomp it into nothingness, which is impossible. It's endemic, man. Need to grow gardens. Yep. Exactly. If anything, man, start learning, right? Start stockpiling your seeds, heirloom seeds. Deep water port in Mexico. Yeah. Yep. Started with the Clintons. Bush came along, pretty much the same policies. Was able to get us involved in these major wars. So, I mean, come on. Obama came in, and strengthened that. Had that freaking Trans-Pacific Partnership to where China could ship whatever they wanted to us tax-free. And yet when we ship stuff to them, they tariff the crap out of us, man. What a stupid deal. Globalists. Make me sick, man. Make us suffer and help strengthen and build up China. People act like he was such a great president, did so much stuff for the American people, man. Screw that dude. Dude was a sellout. He let himself become the token black president. That's all he was. He had the same exact policies as George W. Bush. Both of them. They're the worst presidents in my lifetime. Sorry, I get upset. People are so ignorant. They have no idea what's going on and what these presidents are doing to us. But anyway, getting back to these CEOs, man. I was before I show that, I don't know if Auslander's in here this morning, but he'll probably watch the replay or something. But I found the Australian Prime Minister referring to the unvaccinated in Australia as sheep. Check this out, man. People are crazy.
I appreciate greatly the work done by all the premiers and chief ministers in seeing those national vaccination rates get to where they are. We've got one more state to get through that gate. As it's a bit like getting the sheep through the gate into the run, and we've got one more state to get through, and we're looking forward to that. Getting the sheep through the gate.
Yeah, sheep, right? Calling the unvaccinated sheep and not the vaccinated. To me, and I think you guys would agree, they're the sheep. But they're just no care, man. I mean, and why would they? They're the ones herding them into these quarantine camps, the concentration camps. Lady Rowan, good morning, my love. I hope you're not texting and driving. Please be safe. Anyway. Amen. We are all rebel scum. Right? But anyway, and so speaking of sheep, there's this interview with the CEO of Pfizer, right? And they're asking about boosters and all this stuff with the Omicron variant, which the data show, and there's been no reported deaths, not any that I've heard of. And yes, it spreads easier, but it's basically like a little cold, and that's what it's showing worldwide. But they're still trying to ramp up the panic. Check them out.
Albert, it's really great to see you, and this news, I think, welcomed by a lot of folks. Does this mean that 3 doses of your vaccine should potentially be enough to restore at least the antibody levels against Omicron, and maybe mean we won't need to update the vaccine here?
Yes, what we saw in this study that we did, and this is the first of many that will follow, when we see real-world data, we will determine if the Omicron is well covered by the 3rd dose and for how long. And at a certain point, I think we will need the 4th dose. I have said that multiple times.
Bruh. I can learn more about them from your leftovers. It's brilliant. I can feel every molecule of my body starting to change.
Oh, no.
Right? I can't believe people keep putting this stuff in their body over and over, man. Just because people on TV are telling them to do it. What are you guys doing? Do your own research, for crying out loud. How many of you guys have family members who are on their 3rd or 4th booster now? I just shake my head at them. They don't want to hear anything I have to say. I had one family member say they're tired of my political rhetoric. I'm like, Jesus, man, I just love you and I'm worried about you. You're an intelligent person. Can we talk about this? They don't want to talk about it. Right. Amen, man. Man, Germany, good God, I didn't know it was so bad there. I always thought Australia had it worse with the lockdowns and the mandates and whatnot. But Prepper Tribe on his live last week was talking about it. The number 1 for all the mandates and lockdowns is Fiji, but number 2 is Germany. And I saw a video clip coming out of there, man. The way that they were, they're like a parade or something, or a ceremony for Merkel. I mean, it was hearkening back to the Nazis, man. But yeah, not the people who are there, the German people who are fighting back against this crap. God bless them. And Prepper Steady, what's up, brother? Good morning. You on the road today? Charlie, what's going on with you? Good morning. To get very sick from the boosters, right? Man, and they just keep doing it. That's what drives me crazy. They don't see, like, how many boosters are you going to take before you wake up and say, maybe this thing's not really worth it. Maybe it's not doing anything. But I got this out of Germany. The police are going around with 6-foot poles, making sure everyone is 6 feet apart. Shit's crazy.
Da sind sie, unsere Zollstockträger.
Komm echt mit dem Messlatte ran hier, Alter.
Oh, no, I see. There's all this horrible stuff going on in the world, but apparently Cartman's life doesn't matter. Eric, you can't... Get back. 6 feet, ma'am. 6 fucking feet.
The police are going around with their sticks, man. Now, what do they do if someone's under that 6 foot? Like push them out of the way or they get arrested? That's crazy, man. That's crazy. Ain't gonna be long. They're gonna be goose stepping in the streets, man, like doing their thing. Appreciate it, brother. Well, be surprised, man. Be surprised. They're all over us as of late. I hear that. Both staff. Yeah, ain't that crazy? Could you imagine living there? Police walking around with a 6 foot pole, making sure you're social distancing. Why though? I mean, what? It's all about control. They can't be that afraid of this thing anymore. Right, Moonlight? I can't see that happening here. For one thing, our police force here is each local police department is so different one from the other. I just don't see that happening largely in the United States of America, maybe in these deep blue large cities. Morning, Prepping Plumber. Been in West Virginia all weekend. Man, I hear you, brother. Hope you have a great day, man. Great day at work. We'll get those boys going. Y'all gonna be doing some plumbing. Steady, say it ain't true, man. Yeah, it is. I mean, all this stuff is coming to a head, man. I think we all feel it. I think we all know it. We were talking about, I did a live stream Saturday night with Nisi Tribe. It was a great stream, and YouTube blocked it. They took it down. Turns out I played a Christmas song. It was a Nat King Cole song in the beginning. Usually, like I figured I would get a copyright claim on it. I didn't care. I didn't monetize the stream anyway. But they didn't just do it. They took it down because of it. So I don't know. But me and Nisi were hitting on some stuff. You guys called it. Y'all know it was a pretty good stream. We had a good discussion on all kinds of things. But we brought up some stuff from the Book of Revelation. And I always say this: whether you believe the Bible or not, you can't deny what's going on in the events that are laid out in the Book of Revelation. You can't deny the correlation between it. And whether you believe in the rapture or not, whether you believe pre-trib, mid-trib, post-trib, it doesn't matter. Some of the events in Revelation that leading up to the tribulation, man, it talks about the pestilences. Even Jesus mentioned them in Matthew. It talks about the diseases that are just widespread. We're in that. We're seeing this unending pandemic. The powers that be are never going to let this thing end. They're always going to use it to give themselves. Look what they're doing to the German people, man. Going around with a 6 foot pole, making sure you're 6 feet apart. Seriously, like that's a serious job now that the police over there have to do. But anyway, it talks about the famines. We're already seeing the famines and stuff. I think a lot of the supply chain issues are real, and I think some of them are trumped up to create scarcity. So, I mean, we're already seeing famines in parts of the world, and it talks about war. There's going to be a World War III. I mean, it's in the book. It's going to happen. So, I mean, all these things in place, it's going to come to a head. It talks about an earthquake that will be felt all over the world. Geologists, people who study these things are already saying it's going to happen. They were talking about last week that too on Tribes Live. They're talking about an earthquake that's coming, along the Ring of Fire. We're seeing all this weird volcanic activity, all these big earthquakes shaking different parts of the world. And I think there's going to come one. I think the plates all over the world. I think there's going to be an earthquake come, just like the book says, it's going to be felt the world over. So, I mean, all these things are coming to a head at once. Everything for the kingdom of the Antichrist is being set up. The one world currency. Look what's going on. Every world power, all the globalists are trying to push us into some form of cryptocurrency. We see the CEO of Twitter leaving so he can get all his attention focused on the cryptocurrency. That's what he said. You know, he left Twitter behind to go and do this, man. The one world government, the one world religion. We're seeing all these things come into place. So all this stuff's coming to a head. So going back to what Roots, Rocks, and Feathers said, it's time to learn to grow our own food. It's time to make our connections and get ready. Like we've been doing. We've been doing it. We know. Y'all know this. I don't need to tell y'all this. We're all doing the things. Anyway, guys, we're coming to a close here. I've had a clip this morning from the United spot. We haven't heard from the Cuomo brothers in a while, so we have some footage of them. They had to move into an apartment together so they could survive. So without further ado, I give you Fredo and his older brother.
I'm home. Hey, little brother. How was work today? I got some bad news. Bad news like an old person was bothering you? No. Because if that's the case, I'll take care of it. I got fired. You got fired? Yeah, and I never saw it coming. Only losers get fired. Andrew? What did they fire you for? Apparently advising people on how to respond to sexual assault allegations is against company policy. Oh. Hello? What's up? What's up? So, how's Mexico? What? You're so lucky to be president of Canada. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm doing good. How about you? You sound like you need help. I'd love to come help, but unfortunately I'm all the way over here in Russia. Hey, are you still governor of Chicago?
Y'all have a great Monday, guys. Let's go out there and change the culture, man. Let's push back and always be prepared. Native Voice, God bless. I'll see y'all out there somewhere. Have a good day.